at home. It's your girl, DJ Ria, aka Maria. You already know. But we are here with another episode of Maria in the Mix. And I am super excited today, okay, for this evening's guest, y'all. You do not understand. I'm a huge fan of this man. Not only has he inspired me, but he inspires many others through several things that he's done in his life and even through trials and tribulations that we will get to. But I would love to introduce, okay? Not only does his name sound beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Not only is he from New York, a fellow New Yorker just like me, Park Slope, Brooklyn, right? Shout out to y'all. I see you, Park Slope. Okay, BK. And also in the industry as well. I heard he's a crowd mover. The voice of New York says Angie Martinez in them. Okay. Please welcome Lou. Listen, Pretty, like I said, it sounds beautiful. Pretty Lou, the host of Turn the Tables, one of my favorite show, a
Wow.
heavy hitter. I see you, a heavy hitter, but my favorite show, honestly, Turn the Tables, is the number one show on Instagram. It is the number one DJ show. Being a DJ, I
And it's
super
and
appreciate
it's
you.
actually now considered I am top 5 best Instagram shows right now.
No, you are. Lou, hands down. We need his flowers. I need a round of
Thank you.
applause in the background here.
Thank you.
Your roses, please, Lou. You have changed the game for DJs, let alone you have given us a platform. You have made a name, a statement, everything for yourself. If you didn't know who he is and what it is, you know now. Okay. It's all live. This is airing who Pretty Lou is. Okay. I want everybody to know out there who Pretty Lou is. And we're going to get to that. Who is Pretty
Right.
Lou? Like,
Right.
Lou, who's Pretty Lou? First off, how did you get the name Pretty Lou? I need to know this.
Let me tell you the short version. Pretty Lou was actually see, when I was growing up, me and my brothers, we before we got even into this music industry stuff, we our parents put us in boxing. We were boxers.
Boxing.
Yes, we were boxers, me and my brothers. And we grew up in the streets of Brooklyn, Park Slope, Brooklyn. At that time, it wasn't the Park Slope what it is now, but
Right.
coming up, I was, fighting in the Golden Gloves. We were,
Really?
yeah, I did Golden Gloves. We, all the PAL tournaments and everything. So I remember, oh, what happened? Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
still see you. You here. You here.
Oh, something's just my computer's wilding out. So what happened was I was in we were competing in a tournament, and what a coincidence that in that same tournament, um, Floyd Mayweather was fighting in that same tournament. So back then,
Oh, wow.
Floyd Mayweather was called Pretty Boy Floyd.
Okay.
He wasn't,
Yes.
he
Yes.
wasn't Money Mayweather, Money Floyd, whatever he calls himself
Yeah.
now.
I knew
But
that nickname.
But I remember me growing up and coming from school. I was always dressed nice. Like I always made
Okay.
sure that I had the right fit. Like back then it was like Tommy Hilfiger, Polo, all that stuff. So I always had that. Like I was always dressed. Like I always wanted to make sure I was dressed right. So
Right.
every time I used to go to the gym, they used to call me Pretty Boy. Oh look, there goes Pretty Boy Lou. And it was Pretty Boy Lou, Pretty Boy Lou. So back to that tournament, my little brother at that time, he was real young. But he was fighting as well. He was like, "Oh man, it's not cool that there's two people that call themselves Pretty Boy."
Right.
And I was like, I really didn't care. I was like, "Oh, so what? I'm the pretty boy in New York, like I don't care." But my brother then came out of left field and was like, "You know what? You're not a boy no more. Let's just call you Pretty Lou." I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
When he first said it, it really sounded very feminist. I didn't like it. I didn't like the name. But he kept saying it. He kept saying it. He kept saying it, and it got stuck. And there we go. The Pretty Lou was involved.
Well, not only that, you know, you're handsome, everything. So I can see where that sticks. And then you got the game. You're from New York. You know us from New York. We
Right.
dress a lot. We dress to impress. You know, Harlem, Brooklyn, all the styles. Everybody gets all of that. So I can see where they can get all that and where that came up with in that nickname. So it fits you.
Especially growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, your dressing was so important, you know?
Oh, 100.
Especially
100.
like coming up in hip hop, you know? Like you just wanted to be dressed like your favorite rappers. At that,
100%.
you know.
So
So
speaking of coming up in hip hop, how did you come into hip hop? How did you get into the game?
um I was always in love with hip hop. I was always in love with music. You know, growing up with a Hispanic family. My mother's Ecuadorian. My dad is Cuban.
Oh, wow.
So coming from a Hispanic family, you know, always on the weekends you grow up, you know, and your mother is cleaning the house, listening to Spanish music all the time, and you know, it was always a music thing. But when I started hearing rap music, you know, when you start, you know, seeing, you know, like Curtis Blow and Fat Boys and all that, you start seeing, you know, and what I was more infatuated is that I was from Brooklyn, but I kept seeing more of the Bronx.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh man, that's where all this comes from. It's from the Bronx. Why I don't live in the Bronx,
Right.
you know? And I just got more involved with it, more in love with the music. And then you know, I was one of those b-boys, one of those kids with the backpacks with the cassettes you know, instead of having your school stuff, I would have cassettes for my Walkman and just listen to every type of hip hop, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like about probably 16. I was like 16, 17, around that age. And I used to escape to the Bronx a lot. Like I told you, like I was really infatuated with the Bronx. So I used to always go to the Bronx. And I remember meeting an owner, promoter called Sal Albertello, who runs Fever Records. He
Oh,
had
wow. Yes,
he had a club called the Fever. So I remember I was one of those little kids that wanted to go in that club, you know, even though I wasn't at the age, but I would give out flyers and all that stuff. So I remember KRS One was performing one time.
Your favorite artist?
My favorite of all time. And I wanted to see him so badly. And, you know, push comes to shove, you know, I gave out flyers. I did what I had to do, and I stuck in. And I got to watch my favorite rapper perform. But before I got to watch him, I still don't remember to this day who it was, but there was somebody on a microphone with a DJ. And he had like total control of the crowd. So, you know, back then it was like throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. I was like, I want to do what that guy does. And you know, ever since then, like that always got stuck in my head, and then also having the voice with it as well. Like it was just a total package, and that's how I started really getting involved with the industry, but more, you know, local stuff, like doing local stuff in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of house parties, hooky parties. You know, I just wanted to always get on the microphone, like, yo, man, pass me the mic. Let me, you know, because I would always see a dude doing that.
You know, it's crazy seeing you in action, by the way. Sorry to cut you off, but like, it's so crazy. If y'all know Lou, and if you don't know Lou, you gotta go to one of his events or parties. Cause like Lou, it's crazy. You seem so calm and chill. But when you get on the mic, yo, you're swag, but like you turn up to a whole nother level. Like, I know Fat Joe said it's a different vibe when Lou touches the mic. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's so funny to know and see you, and you're like a teddy bear to me. Like, you're just so nice and calm, but like, don't test me. Like, you got that in you, and like that is so crazy to see you just go from 0 to 100, like, and just turn that on, and like your voice, like everything. You said you have a voice. You have that voice, and
it's just a great feeling. It's so great to interact with people, especially when you from when it comes from a club, maybe 200-300 people to 30,000
Yeah.
in an arena is just, it's just something that, you love. It's just a thing that you always wanted to do, and
That,
it's just it's like a high that you love so much. It's better than drugs, put it like that.
no, I feel you. Like I host some things too, and like to be on that level, with your, especially one of your best friends, like Fat Joe and all that. Like even how you got there and doing that, like seeing you perform in front of crowds from 18,000 to 30,000 plus, and your voice just lights up the building, like the energy. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do that is pure talent and magic, but that's something that comes from within. You know what I'm saying? That's not taught.
It's like, and even now, like my wife always says, stop, stop screaming on the microphone. Like, why you scream? Why you always screaming? Why you always screaming? And sometimes I'll be like, all right, let me stop screaming because she said don't scream on the mic, right? But then when I get on, I just forget not, I start screaming. No, but it's just me. Like that's how powerful my voice is. Like I tend to forget that sometimes people be like, you don't even need a mic.
True.
But I just tend to forget how powerful my voice could get and all that stuff. I mean,
No, it's electrifying. Like I'm serious. Like when you take over, you be like, "Rah!" Like you get crazy on the mic, yo. Like the energy is different at your events and parties. 100. Like,
and even to this day, like I still don't understand. Like, and I'll be honest, maybe throughout my whole career, I probably lost my voice maybe 3-4 times.
Wow. How long have you been doing it? How many years?
Hosting. Wow. I marked 25 years this year.
Wow. I need another round of applause in the background, please. Everybody, flowers.
But
wow, 25.
Or a little bit more. Or a little bit more.
The blessings, Lou, everything. I'm so happy. Like the levels you have to achieve in this game, you already know how it is. Like there's so many levels to it. Like people think, oh, I got here, I did this. No, like especially, being a DJ, being in the game, the hunger, like you want more, you want to do more. Like it's one thing doesn't just satisfy me. Like I want this, I want that. There's so many events, so many things that you can do. So I feel like for our world and for you especially, like there's endless opportunities for you, even with your own company, the things that you have going on as an entrepreneur. And now with my favorite show, Turn the Tables, like, I'm so happy for the blessings, but the levels that you have to achieve and the work that you have to put into this game, is tremendous and insane. And
a lot of work, the new people, like, I've been, like I said, I just made 25 years this year. And, I just started getting my flowers, like everybody said. I just started getting my flowers maybe 7-8 years ago.
Wow.
Because it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I work very hard. And throughout that whole struggle, you go through so many trials. You go through tears and heartbreak and joy and sadness, and you go through so much just so you could achieve just so you could have your dreams come true. And I was just the type of person that I never gave up. I remember from the beginning, from my parents being behind me to now, to having my family. You know what I'm saying? Having my family now behind me.
Shout out to the family.
Yeah, like that's important to me right now. Like as you get older, people don't, you got to remind people that as you get older, you start seeing life so different. Like it doesn't, now to me, it's like the streets is not that important anymore. Like home, if my home and my core is not right, then nothing else is going to be right,
Right, 100%. I mean, think of all the things that you just said, like besides the levels of it, the things that you have to do, the struggles, the tear, everything that you just mentioned. And Lou, people out there might not know you are battling still, like, and have, struggled, survived cancer. People still don't understand this, that you have done and completed all this 25 years in the game, plus you deserve everything. with all of that going on in your life. You know, like I can't even imagine how strong you are and such a warrior and just like and so inspiring to people because you're here living, doing what you do and what you love. And does that fuel you? Like, how does that, or like, you know, does that like push you in this game even
Um,
more?
it does. Like, how can I say? Like I'm to this day, I'm still fighting. You know, I'm
Yes.
still fighting. It's not like it's over. It's not over yet. But I always promise myself that regardless of what I'm going through, I'm gonna still continue doing what I'm doing. Like I'm the type of person that if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. You know, like I'm not gonna just let it, you know, just let it defeat me like that. Because I think coming up and fighting cancer, I seen a lot of people give up quickly.
Yes.
Like I
And
see,
you have a very rare type, which is even, you know, off the charts, right? Like
right,
it's very rare.
I have LGL leukemia, which is cancer in the blood that's actually attacking my bone marrow. And you know, it's very rare. Um, it takes time, you know, to cure.
Yeah.
Sometimes there isn't a cure for it. You know, sometimes you just got to go through it. But you know, I don't let it stop me. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, my family or even my friends, you know, even people that don't even know me kind of say, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know, they saying I overdo it." You know, sometimes
Lou? No, not Lou.
yeah, like you know, yes, and it's true. I'm sometimes the type of person that I'll go and I'll get chemo, a whole week of chemotherapy, and then Friday night I'm doing 3 clubs.
I heard that actually. I heard that you literally had treatment and did like 4 clubs one night, running all over from the Bronx to Brooklyn. Like, Lou, how do you do
Get on a
this? Like,
plane, go to Miami,
you're
go to
so
Orlando.
inspiring. Like,
Yeah, you know, it's also it's also your mind, your heart, you know, like your pride. I have a lot of pride. I have too much pride sometimes, you know, but it's just I just love my job, especially that I work so hard to be who I am now. Like I love what I'm doing and I'm getting paid for it. But besides the money is just I love what I do. You know, I really, really love what I do. And mind you, you know, I had a 9 to 5. I did a 9 to 5 for 20 years. You know,
what were you doing?
I was a UPS driver.
Get out of here.
I was.
You probably had that suit fly. You probably had, you know, how New Yorkers, you know, probably had the broccoli Tims. You probably
I had
had,
all that.
you
Yeah,
probably had all
I try to make my uniform as fly as I could, but I'm happy I retired that uniform.
Fendi belts, Gucci belts.
Yeah, so yeah, I did that. I actually retired from there. I did 20 years with UPS. I started there when I
Wow.
was 17 years old. You know, I've been retired almost 8 years already. And after and what the
Yeah.
scary part was I remember retiring, leaving the job finally. And it wasn't like I retired and overnight I became an overnight sensation. I started becoming who I was. No,
Yeah, yeah.
it took some time. It took some time. Like I was actually broke for a couple months, and this is why you know, my wife, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much she has done for me throughout all the years we've been together. She was actually there for me when I was broke. You know what I'm saying?
She's your monkey wrench. She's your monkey wrench. She
No,
fixes things and helps you.
nah, she's definitely my monkey wrench. She's definitely, and you know, it was a couple months of heartaches. Like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Did I retire too early? Should I go back? Like it was a headache, but I stuck it out. And
Because you have 3 children as well, right? Yeah.
yes, I have 3. I have 2 boys and a daughter. I also got a stepdaughter that we
Hey,
also raised.
kids.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
And I do it for them. I do it for them. Everything I do for them. You know, it's like it's no more for me.
Right.
it's really more for them, you know, because I want them to see that, yo, wow, my dad, you know, my dad, he is who he is now, and he did it for us, you know.
Yes, of course. They wanted to see you go all the way up, right? All the way up, Lou.
I know,
Speaking
right?
of all the way up, I heard you broke that record. Is that true? You broke that record?
Hell yeah, I broke that record. I'm very proud of it too.
I heard somebody
Very
tell me
proud of
that,
it.
yeah?
Yep, I'm very
How
proud.
did that start? How did that happen?
So what happened was Joe stepped to me and was like, yo, I need you to come to the studio right now, and I need you to listen to something because I know you got a great ear and blah, blah, blah. And I went to the studio, I sat down and I heard the record. And I was like, this is a hard record. Like, I think this is in the level of Lean Back. Because I was there during the days of Lean Back. I was like, yo, this is the level of Lean Back. Oh yeah. I was like, yo, I think that's your single. That, like, I knew it. So I was like, listen, man, since I'm the first one listening to it, I need to break the record.
Yeah.
I need to break the record. I need to break the record. So I broke the record, and, you know, and shout out to my brother Sus One, because he was there with me when we broke the record.
What's up, Sus?
And when we broke the record, people was feeling, but it took some time for All the Way Up to be what it is now. It
Right.
took some time because there was a lot of like DJs that were like, nah, this record is not gonna be on the level of Lean Back, you know, like a couple people didn't believe in the record. But I kept going forward, and I would go in the clubs, I would stop the music, and I would make sure everybody's paying attention to me, and I would play the record, I'll bring it back, play it again, and then I'll bring it back. I'll do the flex thing, you know, just throw bombs. And, right. So I was just making sure that people was paying attention to the record. And look, record blew up.
That's crazy. So were you on Hot 97, or how did it blow up? Like, how did you get it?
I broke it in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like I played it on Hot. I played it on, you know, I played it on Hot, but I wanted to break it in the streets.
Yeah.
I felt like the streets were more important than radio.
Yes. And it's true. Because they have the ear, you know, especially being a DJ. Like, I literally would go pick 2-3 nights a week, like when I'm not working, to go hit other clubs, other spots, see what people rock to, see what people are vibing to. Because what you might think, you know, is a hot popping record, the streets might think different. Sometimes I'll hear another record and I'm like, oh, this is fire. Like, it's going to go crazy. And 2-3 months later, like, I remember that happened with Megan Thee Stallion. I was like, yo, this girl, she got this swag. Like, she's going to be something. And a few months later, they were like, she's #1 rapper, you know, and it was crazy. And I was like, but you have to have an ear for that. You have, you know what I'm saying? You have to especially have a vibe for it.
Right. You got to have an ear for it. You got, like, I'm the type of person that if the first 30 seconds is rocking,
right,
the record's a hit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And and you know, for me, you really have to catch my attention for your record to be, you know, to be what it is, you know. And that's why I love Joe so much, because Joe, like, he really pays attention to my taste, you know, and he really, like, he really, you know, loves when I listen to things, and you know, he accepts my criticism and my judgment when it comes to music.
That's awesome. How did that relationship start? Like, that's awesome that, like, you guys, you know, you have that relationship and got there and can be there and be that ear for him, you know?
We know each other for years. It was, I tend to forget. I forget about it. But we you know, it was a time that it was like we wasn't speaking, not in a bad way. Like, we just but we finally met up again. You know, of course, him seeing me in the clubs doing what I was doing, and ever since then, like, we just been, you know, he's that man right there. That's my big brother. Like, you know, like, to this day, like, I show him so much respect that to this day, like, him and like. And DJ Enough, like, I don't do nothing until I ask for their blessings before I start something, you know?
Yeah.
Even with Turn the Tables, you know, I called both of them up and I was just like, listen, I have this idea. I want to do this and I want your blessings. I want you, you know, they were like, yo, go for it. And but that matters to me a lot. Like,
right. That's your family, and family, like you just said, is so huge to you in your life and has been your supporter.
And it's like that loyalty. Like, loyalty means a lot to me.
Yes.
Loyalty means a lot, even from my family, even from my team. Like, I have my own little team. Loyalty means so much to me. And that's one thing I do is I give these guys that loyalty. That's so important, I feel.
That's all you have. It's kind of like your word, like the only thing you have is your word as a man or as a person in general. Like, if you don't have that, you don't have your integrity as well.
Right.
So I 100% agree with you. Speaking of those amazing guests, DJ Enough, your fam, and Fat Joe being guests on your show, I can't even go through the list of the names of people. Lou, I have been a huge fan of Turn the Tables, especially being a DJ. And the list goes on. You had CeCe Peniston, you had Kelly Rowland, you had Fat Man Scoop, Funk Flex, Dre from Cool and Dre. You had Finn King. You had you had Bobby Trent. You had Drewski. You had local guys, regular guys. You had DJ Charisma. You know what I'm saying? For the females holding it down, Spinderella. Like, you showed love to everybody. Crazy Legs. Everybody. The list goes on of the people. And shout out to DJ Create, because he's a mastermind over there. I truly appreciate him and your segment. This is how we do it on your amazing show called Turn the Tables.
Thank you.
And if you guys, anytime, Lou, and if you guys tuning in do not know about this, like you said, are you living under a rock?
As a matter of fact, since we're speaking on it, like, I need your opinion. Like, what you think about the tables?
I think it is amazing. And it was so funny. Speaking to Edgar about this, we were laughing because he's like, I keep laughing with Lou. Like, he's talking about he on season 4 already. And I'm like, yeah, bro. And it's only been like 3 months, 4 months. And your show has taken off, and the love and the support that you get from the DJ family and from everybody that's tuning in, from here, regular, all over the country, the world. Like, it's so amazing what you gave DJs a platform for. And, you up my crates too. Like, I've been DJing 11 years now, but I'm in there up in my crates, pretending I'm playing at home with everybody. Like, and the trivia that you added. And like I said, you've done this in a few months. From the level of where it started to where you've taken it. You just did a live episode for season 3. Shout out to Get Now, who just won. Like, you killed it. It was in studio. Shout out to Def Jam, your number 1 sponsor, pretty much, that like let you do it in the studio. And you flew the 2 contestants. Well, one was local, but you flew the other one in from Miami. So like, this is crazy. And this is all a few months. So like, I am so excited. Like, I'm tearing up. I'm so excited for you and where this is going, especially for the DJ game. And I'm so happy I'm a DJ and I'm actually a part of your world and have been for a while. So like, I feel closer to you and just everything your family's doing and your monkey wrench. Shout out to your wife out there. Like, it's amazing, Lou. Like, let's talk about the show. Like,
about the show. So I never, if it wasn't for this pandemic, I always say this when I speak about the show, is like 2020 has been one of the worst years on probably everybody's lives.
Yes.
The world came to a halt. This disease called COVID-19 just comes out of left field and starts killing thousands of people. And to this day, it's still doing it, and this world, not just us in the United States alone, just the world in general, like so many things. Like I lost my aunt to COVID-19 this year as well.
I'm so sorry.
And it hit me hard, but also this was also a time of who's going to become a lion.
Right.
Who's gonna be the hunter and who's gonna be hunted. That's
like
what
the Hunger Games for real.
Like this is the time now when people need to really sit down and reset themselves.
Yes, I agree.
And what happened with me was, and honestly speaking, it wasn't just me saying, all right, now it's time for me to do this. No, and it needed a push. Somebody pushed me. So I remember this whole Corona thing started, and you know, I was, didn't know what to do because our jobs was the clubs.
Right.
Our jobs was the clubs. Like this was our bread and butter. And for us not to be at work, it's not like we had, workers' compensation on, you being a
Yeah.
DJ, there's none of that.
No.
And I just didn't know what was going to happen or what I was going to do. And so one night I get a phone call from a good friend of mine. His name is Steve LaBelle. So we all know
he's the best, though. He's one of your guests.
He was one of my
was the most inspirational guest. I feel like everybody was just like, I remember Create even saying like, I gotta go do something. I gotta go. I don't know. I gotta find a job. It was like he was so inspirational. Like, so I can't imagine what he's done for you.
Yeah. So, but it took a phone call. So he just called me to see how I was doing. How I was going through the pandemic because of what I'm fighting. Of course, if anybody need to be careful, it's me.
Right.
So, I was telling, I'm fine. I'm home. I'm here. We're all isolated. We're not going outside. We're not doing anything. We're being very careful. And he was like, okay, so what are you going to do? I was like, what do you mean? There's nothing for me to do. The clubs are closed and I got to figure out how to do it, how I'm going to get an income.
Right.
And he was like, so have you been on social media? I said, yeah, I post there all the time. I'm always posting.
Yeah.
No, have you took advantage of Instagram Live? Like, have you gone on the live and all that stuff? And I'm like, I do, but I go on for like 10 minutes and I talk what I need to talk and I get off because people don't really want to hear me rant, So when I said that, he went off. He was like, no, you can't do that. Pretty Lou, you're the voice of New York. You're the voice of the streets. So shout out to Angie. Angie, I love you. You're the voice of New York. I'm just letting you know. But I'm just saying what he said. But you're the voice, and you're an inspiration to people. You need to know. You need to come up with something. You need to take social media and you need to do something with it. You need to. But he went off on me like a fall. And I was like, okay, hung up the phone. And honestly, everything he told me actually got stuck in my brain. And I'm just like, okay, so he's right. I got to figure out something. But I didn't figure everything out that night. Like it took a couple of days. And I remember just sitting. So there was one night that I was home and I was in the couch. I didn't go to bed. I was just watching TV. And like everything hit me at one moment. So I was like, all right, let me go. I'm hardly on Facebook, but I like to go on Facebook because I like to look at pictures that I have from old pictures.
Yeah.
And I wanted to post something the next day because I didn't have no new pictures. I was like, oh, let me go on my Facebook. Maybe I'll find something. And I went on my Facebook and I found a picture of me with a young DJ.
Okay.
And that day was so clear to me because I remember I was hosting a cancer event. And in the picture was me with a young DJ. And I remember me telling the DJ what to do and what to play and blah, blah, blah. He was happy that I was there. And, so I was just, so that when I'm looking at the picture, I'm like, hold up, maybe there is something I could do. Maybe I could just put young upcoming DJs on my social media and use that platform. I'll just put them to DJ. Oh, I could get like 2 DJs to do like 20-minute sets just to do it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but hold up. I got thousands of followers. I'm not just gonna give it to them in a platter either. You know, I'm like, hold up, I'm gonna blow them up and forget me? Nah, hold up. They gotta work for it. So what a coincidence that when I'm thinking that I'm watching a game show on TV.
That's crazy.
I'm watching a game show and I'm like, matter of fact, instead of having two DJs doing sets on my live, why don't we have two DJs battle
Yeah.
and do sets? And then I remember the game show, they had special guests. So I'm like, maybe I should put special guests. Maybe the special guests should give them sets. And so now I'm putting everything together. So then I started watching another game. So then, mind you, this is like I started thinking all this at 1 a.m. Now we're at like 3:30, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Started watching another game show. It was, I don't know if people remember, it was called Press Your Luck.
Okay. Press your luck.
It was an old game show from back then. So I remember in Press Your Luck, there was something called a whammy. So, you know, you will press the thing and hopefully you don't get the whammy.
Yeah.
The whammy would take all your money. So I remember the whammy came and took somebody's money. And I'm like, is there whammies in DJing? I said, yeah, matter of fact, there is. Because I remember one time I was hosting in a club and an artist walked in. And I remember telling the DJ that I was working with, like, yo, this artist is here. You need, put his song on. Put his song on. Let's show him love. And I remember the DJ saying, damn, man, you just monkey wrenched me. I don't have nothing. So the whammy actually came together with the monkey wrench. And I was like, oh, yes, a monkey wrench. But I still couldn't get the monkey wrench really figured out because I was trying to figure everything else out. And I remember the next day I was telling my wife everything that I was thinking and what I wanted to do. And I told her about that monkey wrench and she was like, oh yeah, it should be a song. And this is how she created. She was like, yeah, it should be a song that the DJ should have.
That's crazy. I love her. Shout out to your wife. She's the best.
So it should be a song that a DJ should have. And I was like, you're right. You're right. But then I'm like, but hold up, man. But that's easy. That means if I tell them to give them a song, they're going to go on the net and to find it. And that's when we were like, no.
No internet.
No internet. You got to cut the internet. Is there a way you cut the internet? I was like, yeah, matter of fact, I think there's a way. This whole show was developed in 24 hours.
That is insane. And it's the number one, top 5 on Instagram, but the number one show to me, the number one DJ show.
Right.
And it needs to be on air. Like some network has to pick it up. I don't care if it's BT, VH1, MTV, something, NBC, ABC, somebody needs to pick this show up. And it needs to be a real thing because there are so many people like you had amazing guests, and not only are your friends, but people that you had come on the show, from DJs to singers to talent, in the industry, and they might have an ear or they might know what it takes, like, how did you even select half these guests?
Yeah, I honestly.
Yeah.
Well, season 1, I was just going through names like, all right, I need this person, I need that person, I need this person. Season 2, I was already developing all right, so let me strategize and getting this person here and getting this person there. But then when it came to season 3 was actually well organized. Like,
it was amazing.
Like for example, Funk Flex, I didn't want him during the regular season. I needed him for championship week.
Right.
I think that, and then when I saw like Mr. C had to be like, I knew for a fact in my heart and in my mind that he had to be the final judge because of his catalog and because of who he is.
Shout out to Mr. C.
And it's like season 3 was very, and I got to learn so much from season 1 to season 3. Like I got to learn what's good, what needs to get changed, what will make it better. And I also got to master the Instagram Live.
And you're doing this all by yourself, right? Like you're at home, do it like people, you don't understand people. People take months, like years to develop a show, to have the timeline follow. This man has done this in 3 months at home. We're already coming on to season 4. We were in a live studio with an audience. Like, you flew these people in. You had Mr. C and DJ Enough hosting the finale. Like, it's insane. Like, to think that this is all like literally 3 months unraveling, and it's already the number 1 on charts. Like,
yeah, like, well, like the show started in March, late March. Season 1 started in late March. Now we're in October, the ending of October, and finishing season 3. And the reason why I did it in seasons, because one, I needed a break, because it's really a produced show.
Yes.
Even though I'm sitting how I'm sitting right now and I'm doing the show, like, because season 1, I actually had help, but my wife helped me out. My wife was always there because in season 1 we started at 3:00 Eastern time. That was when everything was shut down.
Right.
Shut down. So I had, my wife wasn't working at that time, so she was there with me. She was doing the monkey wrenches, and she was actually helping me learn how to do all the stuff with the monkey wrenches and all that. Then when we came into season 2, like in the middle of season 2, that's when stuff started opening. Like, things started opening up and everything. So we couldn't stay at 3:00. So we moved it to 9. And then that's when I started doing everything on my own. It takes a lot because I had my laptop, I had my iPad, I had my phone, my lights, and, but this show actually became a job.
Yeah.
It became a job and now I know what producers go through when they go through regular TV shows, because you're really actually sitting there and doing an 8-hour shift just to get
100
2-hour show set. It's like you're calling the guests, you're setting up the monkey wrenches, you're setting up the songs, you're making sure the guests got the sets and the trivia. And the trivia questions was born this season, because the first 2 seasons, it was just,
didn't have those.
We didn't have the trivia questions. It was just 2 regular sets. And, doing that and organizing. I had to buy a big calendar, and I put it in my bed so I could put all the, all the guests and everything. And, it became a job. Like, my only day off was Saturdays.
Wow.
That was my only day off because I didn't have to worry about the show. I didn't have to worry. But once Sunday comes, I had to get ready for Monday.
Right.
Monday, you get ready for
Monday through Friday. This show was Monday through Friday, people. Like,
Monday through
Friday, nonstop.
Nonstop. And then I developed it in seasons because it's, first of all, it's a competition show still. You want to, you don't want to prolong something too. You don't want to I learned that the shorter you do something, the more people will love it.
No, especially this generation.
Especially like now. Now we're done. Yeah. Like, championship was last week. I don't come back to November 30th for season 4. So the anticipation and the people like, oh my God.
I know, I can't wait. I'm
like, even now, like, people's like, damn, what am I doing at 9:00? Because everybody.
It's weird not having you, by the way. And basketball and all these other things are over. So it's like.
Right. So it's like you can't wait until that season starts,
Yeah.
So that's what makes it so great, that's why I wanted to do it. And, shout out to Lil C's, because it was also Lil C's. He was the one was like, well, Lou, you got to take breaks. You can't go too long, because if you go too long, people will get tired of it. Do it by breaks. And then once you're done, take like a 2-week break.
Okay,
So I remember after season 1, I only took a week break after season 1.
You did, I remember, because that's why in my head I'm thinking this was 3 months, because like the anticipation is like 3 months. I'm like, okay, hurry up, let's go. So it's really like 6-7 months, but like that, it felt like 3 months because you did take breaks, like you said. When was your second break?
And then the second break, I took a month.
Okay.
After the second break, when we got into season 3, but it was good to take the month because it got me. That's why season 3. I think it was one of the best seasons because it was so well prepared.
Oh, super prepared. You had
Right.
promo videos, Lou. I'm like,
Right,
when did
like
you do
it
this?
gave me
Last night?
yeah, it gave me time to do even a commercial. Like whoever thought I'd do a commercial, I did a commercial for
Your
season.
commercial is fly though. You have the like you have a controller. You got lights. I'm like, where is he? Is that in Brooklyn? Is that the Brooklyn Bridge? Like,
That was actually in the Brooklyn Bridge Park at Brooklyn Bridge
see,
Park.
I knew it. Like I felt you had to keep it in Brooklyn, but I feel you. Like I was
The
like, this
Brooklyn
is
Bridge- I
crazy.
don't know, and it was funny because we did that commercial at like 1 something in the morning. Because
That's crazy.
there was no people around. It had to be clear. We had smoke. I had smoke in the back.
You did. It was lit. It looked like a music video.
There was smoke in the back, and the director, the camera guy, shot the Juggernaut. He had a drone, and he had that part of the commercial where you see the bridge and all that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
video still. That's actually a drone flying
Okay.
through the water
Look at you.
and all that.
Shout
Yeah.
out to your production team. Like, it's you and who? Like your friends, or this is still you doing all this? Like,
Yeah, it's still me. It's still me doing
wow.
it. Championship night. Shout out to Soul Production. Soul Studios. It was called. They're called Soul Studios. They're the ones that actually did the production for Championship night. And
Nice. Shout out to them.
The whole game on Instagram Live with that. Like
it was like versus, dude. It was like I felt like it was versus. Like I'm like, oh my god, this is versus live right now. You had different camera angles, changing, fading in and out. I was like, this is insane. Like it felt like versus 100. Like it was. They need to put. I'm telling you, your show has to go on so many other levels because it was so good. It was so. I can't not wait till season 4.
Like, see, but here's the best part. Like even though we felt like season 3 was a great season, there's still a lot of things that I have to learn to get so much better for season 4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so much stuff. And then, and not just because it's a game show for DJs.
Yeah.
But now I'm also doing it because now it's also because of this pandemic is also helping out these younger DJs.
Yes.
And it's also giving them now that platform. Like shout out to Master of the Mix and all them other DJ shows that they had, but this show is so different because this show is actually helping the younger guys, the ones that need that break, the one who wants to get recognized. Yeah. But you want to get recognized, but you're still going to be put to a test.
Yes.
And it's also helping even from newer guys to even to the veterans. Like,
100%.
I never thought I would get so much respect from veteran DJs like Scratch, Kid Capri, SNS, Clark Kent. Like these guys actually call me and like, yo, Lou, I learned even more just watching this show. Like, because I'm also trying to teach the DJs it's not just about pressing a button. It's not about just you and just playing Drake or Meek Mills. Like,
right.
You really got to know if you're a DJ, I'm trying to teach. It's like, this is like DJ school.
It is. It really is. Like you really help people. Like you teach them. You don't criticize. Like even when people criticize, don't cross Lou, by the way. Like you turn into a pit bull on some of your shows. You was like, don't test me. Like do not, like you don't criticize. You are so helpful trying to teach people because it's really, like you said, your catalog. Like even when you do the monkey wrenches, I'm like, oh, I didn't have that. I'm starting to add all these songs to my catalogs. Like you really help others so much with this show. Like, I'm not sure if you understand how many lives you're changing, especially in such a short amount of time. Like some of your DJs are in Sirius XM. They're getting gigs. You're getting Now's going down to Puerto Rico with Crazy Legs. Like the opportunities that you're giving other people, because your selflessness is amazing. Like truly. And I'm so proud of you and happy for you.
And that's all I want. Like, I just want to see. That's one thing about me is a good thing and a bad thing. I always want to see other people win, but I tend to forget about myself sometimes.
Yeah.
But this show is a win-win situation. It's a win-win for myself, and then there's a win-win for all the DJs that come on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that Def Jam is a part of it because actually Def Jam is probably the only label that sees the bigger picture.
Yes. Shout out to Def Jam because they're gonna get money, but y'all are making history and they're going to be on a whole nother level because they believed in something you believed in. And that's all it takes, you know, especially with your hard work and dedication and everything you've gone through and are going through, and you're still coming out on top and still pushing and not stopping, you know?
Nah, and you know, like I said, like radio right now, especially terrestrial radio, like nobody's really listening to radio. Let's keep it real.
Right.
Unless you're in your car.
Yes.
You know, right now it's all about streaming, it's all about this and that. And you know, of course I love my radio station. You know, I love Hot 97, you know, and you know, we're phenomenal. But you know, a lot of people's just so much about the social media. Like even that's why we, you know, you push the Hot 97 app so people listen and all that. But you know, right now during this pandemic, for artists who you know, all this is going on, it's so much harder now, like for them to even get music out. So then why not put your artists on this platform when I have almost 80 to 85% of my,
like, this, not only is this going to be crazy when this does connect, because I hope Def Jam gives you all their artists and everybody and other people open their doors, because the levels at this rate that it's going, you know, it's insane. And to know that you're helping, like I said, the DJs in this game create their platform and build like everything that they're doing is so crazy. And I'm so proud of you for this. Like,
I appreciate
super
it.
proud of you and so happy that you get this recognition, and it can go, so, you know, the doors open and it can go to so many other levels, because you really changed a lot of people's lives. You really have. And you've helped me, you've helped other people in the game, you know, just with this knowledge.
It helped me a lot with my t-shirt game, because I had to make sure my t-shirts were changed every show.
Instead of like white tees all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had to get my t-shirt game up to par. Like, you know, we don't have to worry for what was down, you know, I wear shorts, whatever, but my t-shirt game had to be up to par. I even said on championship night, like this is the first time I got to wear an outfit for the show, because
no, it's funny, head to toe, right? Because you had Tim's on, you had to like put the whole thing together.
Right, and it was weird because I'm always in a t-shirt with shorts. I'm home doing the show. So
and right now I got like sweats on. I'm like, you only see me from there down.
Right, the t-shirt that matters. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool because now I'm getting people who want to sponsor and be like, yo, we just want you to wear the t-shirt on your show. We just want you to wear the t-shirt and all that
or
stuff.
Lou, maybe your new side gig is you create your own t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that.
And, that is go to my bio on my Instagram. We have the Monkey Wrench shirts. They're on sale right now.
There you go. There's that plug. Where do we go to find them?
Go to my Instagram on my profile page on the link. We have a link.
And what is that? What is your profile? What is that? So where can we
find it? 11 at PRETTYLOU, the number 11.
Gotcha. So go there, Pretty Lou 11. Okay, and go to follow him first. Make sure you watch the show. Yes. Season 4 is coming. Yes. Lou, give me, can we spell a little T? Like, what do we got? What's coming up on season 4? Give me something, like give me a little monkey wrench. Like, what are you throwing in there this time?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's season 4 it's still going to be like season 3. We're still going to have the trivia questions. We'll probably switch it a little bit. It doesn't really need any tweaking right now.
It doesn't really.
But the guests, I think for season 4, like now, like everybody wants to be a guest. Before it was a suit, but now it's like everybody wants to be a guest, and I think the guests will be so much better for season 4. You know, and then the best part about it is that all right, so let me put this out there. So during season 4, while we're doing season 4, we're actually working on now is the Turn the Tables, the Latin edition.
Yes, I remember you saying that. Right.
So the Latin edition is going to start somewhere between January and February when season 4 is over.
Wow, that's going to be amazing.
So while I'm on my break to go into season 5, the Latin edition will be going on. And it's going to be called Pretty Lou Presents Turn the Tables Latin edition.
I love that.
So we're actually,
you got to put yourself first.
Yeah, so I'm, still my show. I'm still the executive producer. All that stuff. But there's gonna be a new host. Another host for the Spanish one, and another DJ who's gonna be doing what Create does.
Love it.
But it's gonna be a Latin one. So to all my Latin people, to all the Latin DJs, get ready because sometime in January, February,
That's
the Latin
crazy.
So
yes, Ecuadorian and Colombian, right? Being that background, you're gonna put a little bit of flavor on this. Like anyone can sign up, right? Anybody can go to Pretty Lou 11.
Yes.
How do they contact you for this?
Oh, so DJs could DM me. The DJs
could
DM me at Pretty Lou 11. Just DM me. And it's like a lottery because I get so many DJs that DM me. It's like a lottery. I just, we roll through and just say, that person, that, But they could DM me, if they want to be on season 4, and even for the Latin one. Once we put up for the Latin one, all the Latin, because I get a lot of Latin DJs, and they want to get on, but they just specialize in Spanish music.
Right.
So now I'm giving them that platform. So there you go. So now we're gonna have, it's gonna be like a parent thing. It's like The Voice. You see how The Voice is in English, they have one in Spanish.
Yes. I love you, Lou. Look at you. Look at all these things that you're thinking of. That your mind and your brain and your innovation. I'm on your team all day long, and I support you. I rock with you. You are a fighter, a true warrior, and you inspire so many people with everything that you've done. Like I said, your flowers are due, and it is your time, my brother. It is your time, King, to shine. And I love you, Lou. And I know we haven't officially, like, we met in person, like past all this other stuff. And then I remember you going off the scene due to cancer and then coming back even stronger. And now since all this is going on, I haven't seen you like that. But I'm always a fan and family, anything you need, I'm so happy that you were able to make time to come on my show.
I love this show. I love this. I love all this, man.
Now I gotta get all my extra juices flowing. See how you just keep it inspiring me? I'm like, oh, now I gotta come up with some other things now. Maybe some game show things.
I gotta think some other things, man. I need to sit down at 1 a.m. and start thinking stuff and all that. Now, but
100%.
This is great. I really loved it. Thank you so much for having me, for real.
No, please, everybody, please give Lou, like I said, I need that round of applause, those flowers, everything. He deserves it. And thank you once again so much for coming on, Maria in the Mix.
Thank you, Maria.
For such a great episode.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you so much. Remember, season 4, November 30th. We start season 4. If you want to be on season 4, don't DM me now because I'm on my break. I'm enjoying my break right now. But I will post when people can start DMing me for season 4. And season 4 is going to be. And season 4, man, we have more sponsors now. There's a couple more big heavy hitters that are going to be on. And it's going to be, season 4 is going to be great. Because after that, we have a long break for season 5.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you need it, Lou. You've been working hard. Listen, all the hard work and everything you're putting in, trust me, it shows. And you have so many people backing you and supporting you because not only, like I said, what you've been through, but you're such a good guy and such a good soul. And I wish you nothing but blessings. And thank you so much for being here. And shout out to your family because I know they're your rock and they help you with everything that you're doing. And, from your immediate family to the Fat Joes of the families, like to all of them, because you wouldn't be here and who you are, So shout out to all your friends and family.
That's true. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it, girl. For real. Thank you so much, man.
Anytime, Lou. Thank you. I love you. And thank you guys for tuning in to Maria in the Mix. Catch me at Ria 5 and Pretty Lou 11. Okay. On Instagram.
There it goes.
Season 4. Yeah. I got to keep on working on that, right?
I know. I had the right finger pointing. There you go.
We got this. We're going to get it together one day. I mean, you produce your own show, so we'll be fine.
This is different. This is so different.
This is different, right? Shout out to Heart to Guard. I love you guys.